Lindsay.
I'm Chris. We're going to Leadville, Colorado. One weekend is the mountain bike race. The next weekend is
the Leadville Trail 100 run.
As Lindsay and I are really getting into our training for the Leadville 100s, we heard about Blueprint for Athletes. We're really curious.
Essentially what Blueprints for Athletes is a series of blood tests that athletes can use to help optimize their performance. When we measure blood-based biomarkers, we're getting an idea of how the body is responding and adapting. We're able to measure or get a snapshot of what's going on physiologically inside the athlete.
As an athlete and as someone that's going to go do a 100-mile event, I mean, your body performance is really important.
This is an experience that will take my body much further than I've ever gone before. And it takes a lot of mental mindset, physical performance, nutrition.
You know, your blood really is a signature of who you are. What you've got going on in your life. What's your stress? What's your rest? What are you eating? How well, are all those things blending together?
What determines success in an endurance athlete is their ability to consume and utilize oxygen and their ability to fuel themselves through the race. So most of the biomarkers are geared towards those training goals. Things like nutritional deficiencies, we can measure things like recovery, hydration status. We're measuring a whole host of markers that relate to oxygen transport in the body.
From that information, they're able to tell us what are we maybe allergic to and how can that help us make decisions for our training.
Blueprint for Athletes is focused on performance, is focused on optimizing performance, on monitoring the athlete and giving the athlete actions to improve their training for maximal performance.
Blueprint for Athletes is a test but also a process and a support mechanism. I think that that's really going to help Lindsay and I, both for this event and as we move forward beyond that.
Digging deep, digging deep.
Running the Leadville Trail 100 is it's a really massive undertaking. It's something you have to think very carefully about.
It's really, how's my body going to react? What am I going to be feeling as far as, altitude, and you're climbing mountains?
Athletes competing at Leadville have two stresses. One, the physiological stress of a 100-mile race, and secondly, the environmental stress of altitude, which makes oxygen use more of a challenge for these athletes.
Heading into the Leadville Trail 100, it doesn't necessarily scare me, but it's certainly an experience I really, really respect because I know it will be the hardest thing I ever do.
So much effort has gone into getting here with Lindsay and I, and we're here and it's go time. So let's get out there and nail it.